And we're live at 9 o'clock in the morning with my friend
Yes.
Brian. Welcome to episode number 7 of Codys Business Show. We have matching coffee cups.
Yes.
Mine has a little chip in it. Yeah, we're going to talk about Brian's Amazon business. We're going to talk about his Airbnb business and just kind of catch up. So, man, how are you? Good morning.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Definitely working some overtime with the Airbnb business stuff. Lots in the work.
That's exciting. I remember when you were messaging me. One of my big goals last year was to get a excuse me, was to get a property to do what you're doing, and we didn't hit that goal. So maybe late this year or next year, but you were you were sharing kind of the process on your side, and I was so excited. So I mean, where are you at in the process with Airbnb stuff? Like, what's the
Yeah.
project look like?
So I wanna bring it back to day one just to kind of show you how I got here. So when I was doing bulk books with Amazon FBA, I needed a warehouse, and
Okay,
I found one on Facebook Marketplace. It worked out really well, and the landlord was super nice, and that landlord became one of my closest friends to this day. So that
nice,
landlord brought me to real estate meetings once to twice a month, and I honestly ended up going back just because of the fact that they were like-minded people who wanted to learn.
sure,
And then you also had the people who had 100 or 200 units that whenever they spoke some knowledge, you're just like, gleaming ear to ear. Like I never even knew that type of stuff.
sure,
So I ended up going there for 2 years because I didn't have enough business income. Like in New York State where I'm at, you need 2 years of business experience in order to qualify for a mortgage. So it was kind of the hurry up and wait game. So I would just go to this real estate meeting every month. And long story short, I met a couple of friends who basically tagged along with me when I went to go see properties because I had no idea what I was doing. I'm
sure,
like looking at these places. I'm like, this looks nice. It doesn't need much work, like renovation wise. But I didn't know why does the floor creak? Is this a foundation issue? I have no idea.
sure.
So I would
Yeah,
bring them with me. Um, and long story short, I always take on way more than I can handle, and I kind of just juggle with everything and try to make it work.
sure, yeah.
So I bought a 4 unit with the anticipation of living in one and Airbnb out the other three.
House hack.
Yeah, yeah. So I kind of knew I'd be in the grind of the business at the beginning, for the first year or two, trying to figure out everything. And long story short, I learned how to like evict tenants and all that stuff. That was crazy stuff. But
Wow.
now I have one Airbnb running that's been running for about 4 to 5 months.
Okay.
And my other two tenants just recently left, one unannounced. So I kind of have been juggling to renovate the units and hire contractors to do flooring and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So it's a by a 4 unit, you mean it's there's 4 houses there
Yeah.
attached as well? Yeah, okay. So you've got one of them being Airbnb out, and then, the other 2 are long-term rentals?
Yeah,
Is that
they were
right?
long-term rentals. Long story short, when I bought the place, they came with three tenants and they had very low rent. So I
Got
had
it.
them off the start, and I kind of had to deal and figure out what I wanted to do.
Sure.
And yeah, so the Airbnb's been running for about 4 months now, and it's just crazy because um, every single month the Airbnb has pulled in way more than what the long-term rent is here.
Sure.
That gets me excited.
That is exciting. How did you so, I mean, you shared with me the purchase price and everything, like, that's a big move for a young guy, like, how did you get there financially? Building Amazon, I mean, is the story you built reselling and then you're just investing the profits into, long-term assets? Is that kinda the plan?
Yeah, so that's honestly the exact play. So I to this day, I really just take distributions. Like when I need money, I transfer it into my personal account.
Mhm.
But besides that, I'm constantly reinvesting it. I probably
Yeah,
go on like 1 to 2 vacations a year tops. I kind of don't try to splurge on too much type of thing.
sure.
And yeah, so it all came from books. So
Well,
the
wow,
key
that's
to that,
crazy.
yeah. So there's other caveats to it that people don't talk about. To get this property, it took me 100 days to close on it because I'm self-employed.
Yeah.
And basically the bank that I went with needed like a signed profit and loss statement from my
Okay.
tax people, from my CPA, and all
Or
that type of stuff. So it's a little crazier than your average, I work a 9 to 5 job, I got approved for this loan type of thing. But yeah, it was
sure.
all Amazon income based, this mortgage that I have.
Dude, that's so wild.
Right?
So when we bought the house, we bought this house and some land at the end of 2021.
Nice.
That was a huge, huge move for us. And it was the most tedious, awful thing ever because we just used a regular mortgage person,
Yeah.
'cause it was we're real close with our realtor, and it was a referral from her, and she said she did a good job, and she did, but they wanted, the signed profit and loss, they combed
Really?
they combed through our books, like because we were 100%, self-employed, that's how we qualified, and that was tough. That was a nightmare.
I 100% get exactly what you're saying, because I took one more stupid step, meaning I didn't even get a referral from the real estate agent that I had that I trusted. I
Right.
just went with the bank, and I,
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I said, okay, I'm gonna try this loan type, and they just gave me whoever, and that's kind of what took 100 days to close. Like it was the self-employment portion was also I had a really bad mortgage broker.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The whole time, literally up until we got our house right before the interest rates went up, which was a huge blessing for us.
That's
And
amazing.
then we got the house was only listed on one something, I forget what, yeah, it was only listed, it wasn't listed where somebody else could see it, like less eyes had seen the
Yeah,
house.
MLS. I get you.
Yeah, so it worked in our favor, and, we also lowballed, like, which was stupid, I shouldn't have done it, but I made a lower offer than what they were selling it for, and, they came back and accepted it, and
That's
so we were, freaking pumped, but all the way through the closing, like, I remember standing on our front porch with my realtor, like, probably 2
stressed
weeks
out
before.
the hell.
Yeah, I was standing there, and I was thinking, I still don't think it's gonna go through. I still think they're gonna turn me down because the way it looks, they're like, "Wait, wait, wait. I don't think all that income from Amazon's legit. We need to look through
Hey,
XYZ."
oh my god, so, I get exactly what you're saying, and I'm so happy to hear someone else went through it, because I felt
Yeah.
so alone during the whole thing, because because this mortgage broker was not very good, so tell me he would tell me, like, "Okay, your offer got approved, these are the next steps," and then a couple days later, he would say, "Yeah, I don't think you qualify for that mortgage, so we're not gonna be able to do that, your loan's gonna fall through." I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
"What?"
That's
Like, it's a
crazy.
lot of up and downs, and,
Yeah. And
definitely.
meanwhile, you're saving all the cash. Like, meanwhile, like, just in case you're trying to save every single dollar for that whole time, and it's,
And
it's crazy.
Amazon business is just hurting because you're just holding
You're right. Yeah,
capital.
yeah. Yeah, and if it yeah, exactly, yeah. Okay, so about your Amazon business, when did you start? How did you get into books? Are you doing bulk books? Are you doing like what's your model?
Yeah. So, I started going to Goodwill thrift stores, scanning books with good old Scout IQ, that scanning software,
Yeah.
and that's how I started. And believe it or not, it was I would say about 6 months after I got out of college, and I came upon the whole thing because of, I don't know if you've ever talked to this guy before, but William the Money Badger. I don't know if you've ever heard of him before.
Okay, I
Very
think
long beard, but
yeah, maybe.
he promotes books, and he helps people sell books on Amazon. He has a whole Facebook group for it and whatnot.
Cool.
And I kind of met him at the end of like his first year, and he was
Okay.
promoting like just Amazon in general and financial freedom and all that on TikTok. And I
Okay.
always tell people, like, it's a really funny story, because he was like making a TikTok with the angle here, and he was saying how you can make money on Amazon, and these are my 15 kids. And I just knew from that second, I'm like, there's no way this guy isn't genuine. Like, this is insane. Like, he has 15
Sure.
kids. He needs the money to pay for it. So
Yeah, I know this guy. This
yeah,
guy. Yeah,
yeah. Hey,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
amazing. Literally, helped grow me from the ground up. And one day I need to meet him, because I literally have only had calls and FaceTimes and all that type of stuff with
Sure.
him. And he's literally my biggest mentor. Never met him in person.
That's
crazy,
awesome.
story about like social media today, But he helped me and he mentored me for about a year. And then from there, I just decided to take the jump because I heard about it on YouTube with Reezy Resells about bulk books. And
Mhm.
I ended up purchasing like my first 18 Gaylords of books. And
Wow.
because I have the crazy hustle in me, that like week I had like a deadline. Like this guy would only continue to sell books for to me if I could get through them by X date and buy more by X date.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I used to like blast music on my JBL speaker. I'd be scanning away literally all night sometimes, and it was just an interesting journey. And long story short, I ended up hiring 3 or 4 employees at the peak, and it got to the point where I was crazy ridiculous of managing people. Like I didn't enjoy it. So I
Sure.
ended up, and I was the main lister. So I would like list all day and put boxes on pallets to go out to Amazon. And I was just sick of the whole heavy lifting type stuff and managing people. So I actually made a full transition, a whole 180 to, believe it or not, wholesale.
Okay.
And that went awful for me. So I ended up going to OA. And now I do about 90% OA.
90%. Oh, okay. Nice.
But that's kind of the transition. And I also knew that I didn't want to be in my business labor wise, like with prepping stuff.
Mhm.
So when I got out of the book business, I immediately went to like 95% prep centers is what I'm trying to.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard this story before with other successful p like that storyline fits, like,
So similar. Yeah.
half of our community is very similar to that, so, I we're, how long ago did you start the arbitrage? Like, how long ago was the transition?
It was about, so arbitrage was about maybe a year and 3 months ago or something
Yeah,
around
okay,
there.
nice, yeah. That's exciting, man,
Right?
yeah. So, I am the, proud owner of a failed bulk book business,
Yeah.
and, we, I don't know if how far back you seen my content, but we had a warehouse, and, I truly believe if I had spent $500 more a month that I would just be in bulk books still, because I
Yeah.
actually enjoyed that business, and we had a good team, but we just didn't get a big enough space, and,
How
I
long
think
did you do that?
we were in that warehouse for over a year, and like, most of that we were doing bulk books, so we had a great source, and, but we could only fit, I mean, max, we could fit 12, Gaylords in there, and that was, like, like, that's a stretch,
Pushing
and
it,
so, um,
yeah.
we'd bring them in, we'd get them processed, I mean, we had, pretty good, we weren't amazing with the processes, but, I mean, we were profitable, and,
Yeah,
at as it got towards the end of the lease, I basically just didn't wanna double down on it. I didn't wanna double down on the risk of it and get a bigger space and get, like, expanding, so we basically pulled completely out of that, and that's when we started getting, all of our focus on arbitrage at that point. So
nice.
I've never done any wholesale.
Mhm.
Would you mind if I asked what happened with the wholesale stuff? Like,
Oh,
what
yeah, 100%. So, being that I only had, X amount of experience with books, meaning I never had looked at a Keepa chart at all when I was doing books. Like, I was literally the only, kind of Keepa chart somewhat similar was Keepa's graph on, sorry, I said that wrong. Scout IQ's graph.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I knew what you meant.
So
Yeah.
that's the only thing, like look at Keepa that I ever had. So not having as much experience with Keepa and whatnot, I didn't know how bad I needed it, and I went to wholesale. I purchased a course from someone. And he was teaching me and whatnot, and he basically taught me everything you need to know with OA, meaning like how to sell stuff. But it was a wholesale course, ironically. So long story short, it wasn't any as wholesale oriented. So I purchased things that I thought would sell and they didn't. And long story short, for me, it was like variation listings and stuff like that. That I trusted like the sales count and like the keep a chart too much type of thing.
Sure, without looking and seeing which one was actually selling and
Exactly, with
yeah.
reviews. Yeah.
I feel like wholesale is a great opportunity.
No, oh,
I
me
know
too.
I know
100%.
it is. And like the last guy that I had on here, Brandon, like he's killing it with wholesale. And then my mentor is also, in Say FBA Hustle, he's killing it with wholesale.
Mm.
Um
Oh, I follow him. I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, that dude's amazing, yeah. Well, I I literally just haven't made the time to focus on it. So
Yeah.
we we kind of dove into private label, not really.
Nice.
W well, I had an opportunity to buy a brand, and so they literally, it was a local company. I did some free consulting for them about a year prior, and I helped them set up their Amazon account, and it was somebody I knew from church, and so I just kinda just I didn't charge anything, I just helped and, just did what I could,
Cool.
and, a year later, they said, "Do you wanna buy anything for your Amazon business? We're liquidating." And so I went in and I sat down and I said, I'd like to look at it, what you got, but I mean, are you selling everything? Like, why not just sell me the whole thing? And he was like, what do you mean? I mean, I said, well, you have a trademark, right? Yes. You have an Amazon account, right? Yes. And I said, well, just sell me the whole company. Like, what if we just bought everything? And that opened the talks. And then
Nice.
he wanted a big scary number that there was no way I could come up with. And so I countered with an offer that made
Something
sense for
realistic.
us. Yeah, something
Yeah.
doable, and, he accepted, and now I just, have like, we got a bunch of inventory, we got a bunch yeah, so, um,
That's sick.
yeah, it's exciting. I haven't talked about it much on social media because I'm not sure what we're gonna do with it yet, like, I don't know where we're gonna go with it, but, it's a archery accessory, company,
Mm,
so do I have
that's sick.
yeah, I do. Hey, hold on, I'll show you.
Yeah.
It's like, the stuff you put on, the
Oh,
back of your
cool.
bow when you're deer hunting,
Yep. I
and
get
and
you.
then there's, like, bow stands and, um,
That's sick, dude.
yeah, they
Now
have a
you
bunch of
have to
this
do private label. This is good. It's now gonna push you into having to do it, to cut in the time to do it. That's sick.
yeah, it is gonna have to, yeah, because now I've gotta get some cash flow back from that, and then also, he was he was almost 100% B2B, so he was selling to,
Wow.
dealers, and he was selling to, which I have all their information, like, just to, like,
Yes.
get it yeah,
Yeah.
so, and then I have, there's a Walmart order too, where Walmart not like third party, like, they're buying directly from the company,
Wow.
so hopefully, fingers crossed that goes well.
Yeah.
But, all that to say, the e-commerce like, the Amazon and Walmart listings are not set up well, like, it's gonna take a lot of work to get those rolling. So, it's
Yeah.
literally like launching
A
a
new business. Yeah.
brand direct, but it's private label technically because I own it, I guess. I don't know how
Yeah.
you I mean, it's a cool opportunity either way because I mean, it's a 17-year-old company and, like, it's established and, like, people know, so,
Wow. I didn't know it was a 17-year-old company. That's crazy, dude. That's sick. There's a
yeah,
lot you
it's
can do with that, you know? A lot of different angles.
yeah, I think so there's 2 things I wanna do. He has, like, 30 something SKUs. I'm gonna pick, like, 5 and run with those online, and then because I don't have the money to like, I have orders that I can't fill because I just don't have the capital, so,
You
we're
test it
gonna
out, you know?
yeah, we're gonna get 5 and try to launch those strong online, but here's the other thing I wanna do. I wanna take the registered brand that their brand is registered they have brand registry on Amazon already, which is
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that and make some bundles and,
Yeah, let's go.
see how, if I can make that work, I know how to make I mean, I've never done it, but I've seen people do it, and,
Yeah.
like, I've been, like, pissed off when I go on and like, there was one, it was 2 boxes of oatmeal and a magnet, and the magnet was the brand owner, and so, basically, they're just selling 2 boxes of oatmeal, but nobody else can jump on that listing
Because it's
because
brand registered. Oh
you don't
my
have the
god,
magnet.
that's crazy.
Yeah. So
So it's a good
I
point.
don't wanna do that because everybody hates those people, but, just bundle where nobody else can jump on it, like You
Yeah.
just name your price. It's like private label, but,
That's
you,
sick. Like that's the one thing that every Amazon seller wants to do. They want to be the one person on the listing selling that product. But
right,
they don't really want to, a lot of people don't want to do the work that it takes to get that type of thing, you know? And I got to cut off the time. I would love to do private label or something of the sort. I used to do something similar, not on Amazon, but I used to do something very similar to like one niche, like a one niche business being like drop shipping. So I used to have
yeah,
like branded products I would buy from AliExpress and try to sell on my website, which was kind of hard because you kind of have to learn Facebook ads and like how to
yeah,
market. You know what I mean?
sure. I've never done any of that. I don't even know how, like, I don't even know where to start. That's
Dude,
I
it's so
understand drop shipping, but I never got into it.
yeah, I plan to do either drop shipping or starting with private label and then transitioning to my own website for the mere fact that there's these huge brands and that they have these huge pile ups of information. So like people have bought in from them, all of their emails, so they can constantly just promote products to their thousands of customers via email marketing and stuff like that. That's the
Sure.
one thing that Amazon like you can't compete with because they don't allow you to get that information. If that
Yeah.
makes sense, you know. But Amazon's still a black hole, and I'll constantly feed the beast as much as I
Mhm.
possibly can. You know,
100%, yeah.
they're paying the bills. You know.
Yeah. I, I had a drop the only time I seriously looked at drop shipping was, I think there's an opportunity to sell international, and,
Oh yeah,
there's lots of, I don't think that the people in, like, Puerto Rico or Costa Rica or some of these other countries like Mexico, like, they don't realize who all's willing to ship to them. And
yeah.
so my thought was to make like I wrote out a business plan. I called it, ATL to PR, to Puerto Rico, and I didn't think it through much, but
Yeah.
my whole thought process was get a list of things that I know I can ship from the US to those, countries, and then just promote through my own Shopify site and then fulfill the order through
Oh, that's smart because then you're
whatever.
day one. You're like creating the first company that is going to provide that like security that we will ship to these areas. You will get your product.
Exactly. Yeah, because when
That's smart.
you go on to other sites, like, they don't guarantee it, there's no guarantee,
Mhm.
but I could figure that out, like, I know certain, like, I have a list of suppliers that is, like, just huge, like, 'cause,
Yeah.
I guarantee you I could figure, something, but again, that's, sounds like the theme of this episode is carving out time, 'cause I
Yeah.
literally wrote it out, and then I never did anything with it, so,
Yeah, that's sometimes it's funny because you'll be doing something in life, and then something will happen, and you'll have to carve out time. So, like you with the private label company, mine was I was trying to get the tenants out of this property so I could Airbnb them, and I was kind of taking a slow process where like I felt stable, where like these long term tenants will pay part of the mortgage, and then I'll slowly take one out at the time as I build credibility with Airbnb and making sure that it works well and all that stuff. And one of my tenants just said, "Oh, I'm leaving in 4 days," without any notice besides that. So it made me crazy, but at the same time, it made me realize like now I have to carve out more time for this. So now I have to dedicate X amount of hours to Amazon a day and X amount of hours to this type of thing. So it kind of ends up working well because it kind of teaches you more time management, you know?
yeah, sure. That's
Crazy.
awesome, man. I love this story. What's your goal of real estate? Is it just, was
Oh,
it
no,
building?
honestly, to be honest with you, I am in New York State towards like Buffalo, New York. Think of like the
Okay,
Buffalo Bills and all that. My family live around here and I absolutely hate the snow and I absolutely hate the cold. So my
yeah,
long-term plan here is to have all four units running at Airbnb wise and having kind of building a team down here when it comes to like cleaning stuff or if like a guest needs something, there's someone around here that can come and help. And then I want to transition to moving to Florida and buying properties around Florida or some similar area, California or whatever. Uh,
Georgia.
Yeah, there you go. I've been to Georgia. Is that where you are?
Yeah,
I did
I'm
not know that.
Northwest
That's
Select.
sick,
Yep.
dude.
Mhm.
You get the warmth. I like
Oh
it.
yeah. The weather's not bad here. It's pretty mild. So
Mhm.
it gets bitter cold a couple times, but most of the time it's pretty
Yeah,
nice.
we get snow, I think it's about 6 months of the year. It's insane, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
no way. Yeah,
crazy.
pass.
And then with Airbnb, this is my first property and first time dealing with, like, snowplow people. You have a lot of, like, shitty contractors that you'll pay them in full for the season, like, 600, $700. They won't even show up to plow your driveway, and then you
Oh
have to,
boy.
like, call them, and, "Where are you?" So I'm learning that process. I'm learning that when I move to someplace like Georgia, I need to pay like handsomely for a contractor that wants to plow the driveway.
Sure, yeah. I've never ever heard of anybody plowing their driveway here, so I don't even know what that we don't have that. So
I love it, man. That's sick. That's the life. That's what I'm trying to get to.
yeah, there's no plowing.
No
We don't have
BS.
that much snow. Uh, if you don't mind, we might
Anything.
get interrupted by one of my kids here in a second.
No, you're
I
good.
if you don't mind, or whatever you're comfortable sharing, will you walk me through the numbers of the Airbnb? Like,
Oh,
what does
100.
that look like? What'd you put down? How how is it cash flowing? Is it, like,
Yeah.
what's the risk and that sort of thing?
So I'll start with the mortgage. So the big thing with real estate today in my area is there are a lot of high demand. Everyone's trying to purchase the property, which is pushing up what people are offering, and
Sure.
it's
Same thing
cooling off
here.
a little bit now. Yeah, it's cooling off a little bit now. But back when I was dealing with this whole thing, the big thing with a lot of sellers is they wanted like an easy way to sell their house, meaning cash is king, and then they'll take a mortgage. But there's a lot of places around here that wouldn't take the traditional FHA. I don't know if you've ever, I assume you've heard of that at some point. It's the first time home buyers mortgage, which is, I believe it's 5%
3.5%
down.
or something.
What'd you say?
3.5% or
Yeah,
something.
okay, so it was 3.5. I'm losing my mind. Um, but the key was that a lot of people didn't want an FHA, didn't want to have a use for the mortgage because the FHA inspectors will come to the property after you get your offer approved. And if there's like a cracked window or something dumb like that, they'll immediately deny the whole thing and not
Oh,
let you
yeah.
get the mortgage. So I was talking to my mortgage broker and trying to find a way to get a conventional appraisal, which basically means they don't care if there's a crack in the window. And that's what sellers want. That's the only mortgages that the sellers usually want to accept, if that makes sense. So I got that at 5% down, being that this is a fourplex, it didn't qualify for the 3.5. And so I put down 3.5% down. It ended up being just about like $20,000 to like that I was putting down on the property. Um, and then tell me what other numbers you're talking about, like that, like what's coming in.
Yeah, like, so you put 20 grand down, what's your monthly? Like, what's your liability monthly?
Ready for this? $3,091.50. Boom.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy, dude. That's a huge liability.
Oh,
Wow.
it's stressful as shit.
Yeah, no, that's that,
But I see the opportunity. So, like, you know how we're data driven, both of us? Like, we're
sure.
looking at numbers all day, keep a
Yeah,
charts, the whole nine yards. I applied that to the Airbnb business model and to real estate. So
yeah.
there's softwares like AirDNA, and that's probably the main one that people know, where you
Mhm.
you can type in the property and it will give you an estimate to how much it will produce by within a year. And it's so specific. You can put down how many bedrooms are in the unit, how many bathrooms, the whole nine yards.
Yeah.
And it'll also show you occupancy rates. So that's kind of why I was willing to dive in, because I knew that this property where it's located is a high demand area for Airbnb. So yeah, definitely big liability. But just to give you more numbers, the unit that I'm currently in is a 3 bedroom, and it's already renovated before I even moved in here. And I'm going to be moving to a different unit in here so I can Airbnb this out. And
Mhm.
here's just some numbers for you. When I Airbnb this out, it's supposed to bring in about 6 grand, just this one unit. So
Wow.
that's where I'm like, it's worth it. Like, let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, so the risk is low. I mean, you looked at the data, you felt really comfortable just, taking the risk, and
Yep.
Now, I mean, you've got a spot to live in one, and then you have 2 long-term rentals, kinda diversified, and then one that you're, trying to Airbnb. Uh, that's amazing, dude. I love it. And then the way you came up with the 20 grand, and then the way that you qualified for the loan is you're literally just scanning freaking books
Yeah.
with a whatever and
You learn
selling crap
something new
on
every
on
day.
Amazon.
Yeah, dude, seriously. And, like, I'll be honest with you, I jumped from job to job when I was younger. Like, I did a lot of serving and stuff like that, like, at
Sure.
restaurants and whatnot. Never had a job for more than a year, and then I got out of college, worked at a bank for 6 months, found myself in the bathroom on my phone because I just so depressed. So I
Yeah.
ended up quitting and starting Bucks. That's right. That's where
Wow.
it started. But I always, like, did crazy stuff. Like, when I was in high school, I would buy phones and cars on Craigslist, and I would resell the phones on eBay, and I would sell the cars locally. I had the hustle in me. I wanted to make
Yeah,
money.
sure, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
We've all got that story. I remember being in 2nd grade, I remember it vividly, and buying a bag of Dum Dums, like like the bag of
Yeah, the
whatever,
suckers.
and I remember like, it was so obvious to me as, like, a dumb little kid. Like, I was like, "This whole bag is $2, but I know that they'll give me a quarter per sucker, and
Let's
if I
go.
and if I sold every sucker, then I would have, whatever, $25."
That's sick. I love that story.
Yep.
I never it's so funny because I think it might play into, like, my ADD and, like, my unwillingness to concentrate, but, like, I never thought of it that granularly, I'm trying to say, until later on, Like, I was more like, "How much money could I make from selling this one phone?" You know what I mean?
Right, yeah,
And then one day you sit down, you're like, "What if I had a lot of phones?"
yeah, yeah. Yeah, what if we made a whole business out of this? Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And you didn't know that was a business. You were just thinking like, what if I try this out? Like you didn't even understand that it could be a business,
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Crazy.
I remember in high school, my wife and I, we were dating. We weren't married then, but, there was a field trip that, I wanted her to go on with me,
Mhm.
and, it was, like, to Tybee Island or some Jekyll Island or something like that, and I didn't have the cash, like, at all, like, there was no way I would have been able to, but they said if you sell these chocolate bars, you get $20 per box that
Towards it,
directly to
right?
your trip.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, so I forget what it was, yeah, I sold, like, within a week or something, I went door to door to every teacher in the school, and then I went, to my church, and then I went to different places, and it was just like, "Hey, I need to sell these chocolates," and, I paid for my trip in, like, a week, and then I paid for her trip in, like, 3 days after that or
oh,
something,
that's amazing.
and she wouldn't sell chocolate, and her parents probably would've just paid for hers, but it was kind of,
You wanted to prove it. You wanted to prove
yeah, I
like,
was like, yeah, exactly, we were really serious then, so, but, yeah, I think some people just have the hustle, like, that's definitely a thing, so
it's the whole thing where like at the end of the day, I rather make like 30 grand if this was the scenario. I rather make 30 grand a year and work for myself 10 hours, 12 hours a day. I would rather do that over having a 9 to 5 any day.
100,000,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like that's really what it comes down to.
yeah,
Um, what was I going to tell you? There's one other thing that I had in my mind. Oh, the Airbnb stuff. So the key to me for me was having the friends from the real estate meetings come around and look at properties because they would
mm,
also run the numbers for me. So I
yeah,
could kind of see how much risk I was playing with. But at the same time, this was the biggest key, the biggest takeaway. So that large mortgage payment that I was just saying to you, I would be able to cover the whole thing and make money with just long-term tenants in here. So that
uh,
was the whole key where I knew, if Airbnb doesn't work, I can at least pay the mortgage and make some money.
yeah, so you kinda
Because
hedged, yeah,
a lot of people don't do that. Like with the trend being buy a property and Airbnb it out,
mhm,
people will like pay way over than what the house is worth. And
mhm.
then if they can't Airbnb or it doesn't work for them, they have to sell the property immediately and all that chaos.
Right, liquidate because they
Pay the
can't cash
mortgage.
flow negative $500 a month or negative 1,000 a
Exactly.
month, but yeah, yeah, that makes
Especially when
sense.
working at McDonald's or whatever.
That very well could have been me because I don't I don't have a ton of knowledge or experience, and my network's pretty weak too with real estate stuff, so, we could have found it like, if we had decided to move we probably could have pulled it off, but it would have been at the detriment of our arbitrage business,
Yes.
and which is like so cash thirsty. Like I have like $70 in my bank account at any given time because it's like every dollar that we get, that comes in, we're spending on inventory. Like we're
Yeah.
living pretty low on the totem pole and just buying inventory. But you see the inventory numbers go up and you see, like you see the profit, like it makes sense. But
Yes.
there's no way we could, if I had rushed that, there's no way we could have continued building the arbitrage business like we have. So
That was a good decision. That was a really good decision then.
we'll
You
see. Give me 10 years, and then I'll tell you, when you have 100 doors and Airbnb and long-term rentals, and I have, fuzzy Easter,
Well, here's the thing that I'm learning about it. Some people love to get as many properties as possible and have all this cash flow, but I feel like there might be a chance where I get a bunch of properties, like you're saying, and I have a property manager that handles like 90% of it, because
mhm,
that's the only way that I would continue doing this. Because even the 4 units and trying to like evict the tenants and dealing with the tenants and their issues on the daily,
sure,
it is time consuming. It's
yeah,
very time consuming. Like you'll be like in the zone buying products for Amazon. It's been like 1 hour, and then you get a text from a tenant, something happened, found a mouse in their room or whatever. And
yeah,
and you're like literally just automatically, because this is the type of person I am too. I'm immediately like laptop down, what's up? Here you go, here's a mouse trap, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I jump on it because that's kind of how I was raised. But I'm
sure,
learning through this process that you kind of have to like um finish what you're doing and then address the issue. And that's been
yeah,
hard for me. Like I'm so used to like helping people.
sure, dropping everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Um,
think, I think you'll figure it out. I just talking to you a little bit, I'm rooting for you, so I think,
Thank you, man. I appreciate
yeah,
that. I've
and
owning a property with tenants, it's been biggest learning experience for me, to be honest with you.
I
I
bet.
would have never thought that I would learn and like have gone through like, failures, but also, positive things that come with it. Like so
Sure.
many that I would have never expected.
Yeah, no, I could totally see that, yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I'm excited. We'll do a recap or we'll catch up in a year or 2 and see where, you know,
What's going
c
on?
'cause I mean, at that rate, you're getting equity pretty fast, and, I guarantee you one of your next steps is roll that equity into another property, right? Is that
Yeah.
on your, that on, yeah,
Yep. And the other thing is, so with the long-term tenant units that are now unoccupied, I'm renovating them. So my big key is, in probably a year, I'm going to refinance the whole thing and hopefully get, a lot more money out of it, being that I'm doing the floors and everything,
yeah,
getting it
and then
ready
use
for
that cash to, put a down payment on, quad number 4 or number 3
Yeah,
or
hopefully in Georgia,
hey, there you go.
you
That's
know?
well, let me ask you this. So I ask all of my guests, this question. One of my passions is I wanna help people that are, like, broke, poor, maybe drug addicted or single parents or, food stamp type people that are just really, really, low income, having a hard time in life. I want to help those people get into entrepreneurship and reselling or whatever that looks like. So I know the most about reselling out of all the things that I know something about probably.
Yeah,
So that's kind of where I'm angling from. But if you were to give advice to somebody, say maybe like a 22-year-old kid that's had drug problems or been out of jail or very broke, maybe say they have 500 or $1,000 saved up and they're getting into reselling or they're getting into something. They already have a full-time job and they're wanting to turn their life around
nice.
and get some real income, coming into the side hustle and then eventually try to, follow your path and build a business and, have the success you're seeing. What advice would you give them? What would you say to that person?
I would tell them to start on Amazon with books. I would
Okay.
tell them to, when their 9 to 5 is done for the day, 5 o'clock, I would say run to Goodwills, run to thrift stores, get the Scout IQ app, and start scanning some books and finding out, how to look at the data at Scout IQ. You can find YouTube videos about Scout IQ all over the internet. But that's where I would start because I saw the biggest bang for my buck with books. I'd be spending 25 cents on a book and selling it for $40. Like
Yeah,
it's just great. Like
it's crazy. Yeah,
anybody who's hard on cash and wants to, make a side hustle, start making money on their own, I would always tell them to go there because you'll start to find trends like where I know a bookstore, a library specifically, down the street from me has textbooks on one section, and they put new ones in every week. So constantly there's $50 to $80 books that you pay $1 for. So
yeah.
that's where I would start. I feel like that's where I accumulated the most amount of cash that I, then used to put down on this property.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's great advice. I
Thank
couldn't
you.
agree more. I think that, and then maybe coupled with I talk about the freebie alerts app on my
Mhm.
social media. Like, if you get that and it's put in your zip code, there's you know all day long there's rich dummy type people that are like, here's this desk, it's free, just come get it.
Yeah,
Here,
I got something to say about
dog
that though.
carrier.
Yeah, so you just sparked up some information in my head that I definitely want to give out. Um, COVID hit. I had been doing books for about a couple of months at that point, and I'm like, I can't go to any libraries. That's what I was doing: libraries, Goodwill, thrift stores.
Yeah, sure.
Can't do anything. So William and I were talking, the Money Badger,
Yeah,
and trying to figure out what do we do to get income. Like this was our main source. And what I ended up doing, because you couldn't send books into FBA at that point, so
right.
I started like merchant fulfilling and stuff. But the key for me is I started contacting the higher ups at these libraries. I would just cold call like the
Yeah,
libraries I was already buying from and saying, if you can't keep all your books, or if you end up, calling a paper recycling company, don't do that anymore. I'll take them for free. So at the peak of this, I had 5 libraries that would give me free books twice a month, and I would bring a 15-foot U-Haul truck and pick up all the books. I would fill up the whole U-Haul, and it was
yeah,
just all profit for free. The only thing I was paying for was the gas and the U-Haul, which ended up being like $100 or something like that.
right.
Um, so that, and even before I had the library contacts, I would take my car and I would post on Facebook Marketplace, but I guess at the time it was the market groups like Online Sale and all that, like your local ones. And
Yeah,
I would post like, I can come and get your books for free, something around those lines. And I had
yeah.
people messaging me all the day, the whole day, and I would drive around and just fill up my SUV for free.
Just pick up free inventory, and then you go through and you redonate the ones that are, whatever, and then the ones that are good, you cherry pick and you send an FBA and you turn your
Yeah,
dollar buy after gas or whatever into $40. Like that's insane.
it's just so cool because there's such an opportunity there where you almost don't have to spend any money to get that profit,
Right.
and some of it's insane. Like I remember getting a World War II book set 2 times from one library, and it sold for me like for like around $340.
Sheesh. Yeah. I've had those sales. I don't do much with books at all anymore. I think when my oldest son gets a little bit older, I might he loved like we did this a similar thing. We called it McCarson Brothers. That's my last name. McCarson Brothers Book Removal, and
Oh,
it
I
was
love that.
him and his brother, and it was all pictures of them, and they loved scanning books, and so they're sad, they see like boring replenishable lotions and crap,
Yeah.
and they miss getting the little green light on the app when they scanned a good book. But when he gets a little older, we might revisit it at a small scale. Just
Cool.
I want him to learn the business, as he kind of, if he wants to. So we'll see.
It's a good trait to teach your kid too. You know what I mean? Like
100%. Yeah.
it'll
People
put.
that are going to school for like 12 years to get like a $90,000 salary and a job that they have to go to that doesn't sound fun, like
No.
that that's not gonna be a thing. Like that, like not for my kids. Like that's crazy. So
Well, even my situation, I used it as a backup plan because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew it would revolve around business. So,
sure.
like, honestly, it was kind of what my siblings did. They went to college and then they would get a job, and I knew I didn't want to do that, but I
Yeah.
did it anyways because my parents kept on saying, "Well, it's a plan B. What if that doesn't work?" All that stuff.
Yeah.
But flip side of it, yes, it did teach me time management and stuff like that, but for what? For 40, 50 grand in debt? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think, I think if college was cheaper or you went to like a community college, sure. Like, try it for a year or two. But
Yeah.
if not, if you're going in debt, if you're taking a step back in your financial life just to do that, not worth it, you know?
Yeah. I I dropped out. I hated college. It wasn't for me, and I kind of knew that about myself after a little bit. But
That's good that you knew, like, you could pick up on that and you made the decision. Like,
mhm.
that is keys, you know?
Yeah, I I was also working like I see the benefit. I don't. I'm not a like. I don't hate on college, but
I do.
yeah, yeah. Maybe I do a little bit. But the pressure to go from being a dumb kid in your senior year of high school to immediately making like big financial decisions, like $100,000, in debt,
Crazy.
college the next day, it's crazy. Like I think you should normalize. There's my wife in the background. Um,
Hey.
uh, I think we should normalize taking a year or something like the
Mhm.
rush, like and all the stuff that comes with the yeah. So that's
Like a
cool.
like a backpack trip, going on vacation
Yeah,
or something, think about what you actually wanna do with your life, you
yeah.
know?
There's not a rush, and you don't know that when you're a senior in high school. Like you feel like I gotta get to the next thing. It's like no, man. Take a year.
And my parents probably know what they're talking about, and then you look at your parents, you're like, "Well, they both work 9 to 5s and they don't like their job." You're like, you don't
Yeah,
know what that means, Like, and
yeah,
then now, later on in life, you're like, "Okay, that's not my route. That's not what I wanted to do."
yeah. Well, so we've been on for a while now.
No.
I think this might be my longest interview so far. Thank you for sharing. What? Let's end. If you want to share your socials, and then what's your goal in the next few years? Like, what's Brian doing with real estate, Amazon? Like, what's your like where do you want to be? Where are you trying to get to?
So there's two things. I told you a little bit about the Airbnb stuff. Really, just have a team so that I can, constantly churn over people in this Airbnb, having all 4 units renovated and Airbnbable, and then moving to somewhere like Georgia, Florida, and then Amazon business wise. I would say next year I want to hit 150 to 200,000 a month. That's kind of my key right now for next year. That would be great. But I'm also, if I can get myself to carve enough time, I would transition a little bit into wholesale. It's kind of my goal. But yeah, that's it. Feel free, like if anybody sees this and I would say my social, feel free to message me. I love helping people. I used to do like consulting calls and stuff all the time. I like to bring people on to something that might change their life, in a positive way.
Yeah, sure. That's awesome. And it's just is it at Brian Jerz? Is that what
But
it is?
isn't it funny that I don't know? Wait 1 second.
Hilarious.
I
Let's
just
see.
It's funny because I never actually look at my one. It's Brian, so it'd be Brian, down score, and then Jerz, Jerc. I'll try to do that too. Ready? Right
Yeah,
there.
I don't follow you. Jeez.
Really?
Sorry, I thought I did. I don't know. We've
I
been
don't
messaging the whole time.
I don't post much either, which is bad. I got to get on that game.
Yeah, what's
I
up
used to
with
post
that?
all the time on TikTok. Yo, I'm gonna send you my TikTok because you would laugh so hard at it. Because I took lots of videos in my warehouse on the forklift, the whole 9 yards.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think you need to make more content. Like, just kind of
Same.
getting your vibe and just kind of talking like your outlook on life. Like, I bet you'll meet one of your future business partners, and just from making, like, you see my content. My content's dumb. Like, it's like,
Well, I love it though, dude. That's how it's relatable.
yeah, I literally just kind of put a pressure on myself to try to do one a day, or like try to have I try to have at least 3 stories, and then I try to post a reel a day. And so sometimes it's a little bit, like, it's like you
You
call
don't
it
want to
real, I
do
call
it.
it unpolished, because it's just like
Yeah.
I just gotta get something up, and that's worked for me. But I truly believe, for me, I'm gonna have lots of business partners on different ventures. At some point in the future. And social media has, I mean, what the heck am I doing talking, like, how did we meet? Like, you're talking about doing $200,000 a month on Amazon and real estate investing and Airbnb. I didn't know you until you saw me make a picture of my egg sandwich breakfast.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
so,
the best part, man.
yep,
What you come into just from social media. Like,
yeah.
to be honest with you, not to make this too long, but even my first bulk book deal was all on Facebook, on one of those Facebook buying groups. Like, someone just posted, I regularly get Gaylords of books, and I reached out to him, and the rest is history. Like, crazy.
And then you get, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You need to put some kind of pressure on yourself to do,
Yeah,
even if it's one reel a week,
I'm
or
writing this down as we speak. Not even
yeah,
kidding.
put it in, like, tag me and just say, hey, here's my daily reel, accountability, to
Yes,
make.
I would love to, man. Not even kidding. That would
And
help me. It would actually help me.
yeah, I think it would help you, because just kind of getting your vibe, like, you have so much value already to share, and you're willing to share it. So as you make content, that's gonna, I mean, people know bull crap. Like, when people
Yeah.
see stuff, they know, like, I was gonna slight somebody, but I'm not going to. But, like, like, you see people on social media, it's like, bull crap when you see it. And so I think you should make content. So,
Yeah,
well,
and whenever I'm helping people with Amazon, I really end up giving someone a YouTube channel because I know how manipulated it is today. You know what I mean? Like, you can't get a lot of Amazon content that's trustworthy.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, dude, that's sick. And this has been amazing. Like, I think we should do this more often. I think even doing a live on like Facebook or Instagram might be able to grab different people,
Yeah.
just to help, in general with people who are just trying to get started.
Yeah, I'm in. Well, let's schedule a live sometime. I need to do more of those, and I don't. I hardly ever do lives. So
Hey,
yeah.
that's what I'm here for. I'll push you into the lives. Let's go.
Boom. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for sharing your story. I should have. I'm gonna fully edit this video. So the other ones have been kind of just raw. So I'm gonna try to actually fully edit it. So this will take a day or two before I get it
Oh,
out.
that's fine.
Um,
I feel bad that was so long, but yes,
no, this is perfect. No, this is great. My, do you watch Joe Rogan? Do
I
you?
do. I do.
Yeah. I eventually want to get to a place where I'm either doing them live, or I don't give a crap about, like trying to make a 30-minute cookie cutter thing, like I just want to, chat. So, like, this is perfect. This is right where
Yeah.
I'd be.
With that being said, I wanted to say one last thing.
Okay.
I definitely have a couple people that are very interesting that could come on here and talk to you, that you might be interested in. Like, I know a lot of different
Name
people.
them.
Like, I have a friend of mine who has like a YouTube following of like a 3 to 4 million right now. I'm sure he would come on this.
Wow, that's
Uh,
incredible. That's a crazy amount of people to have follow you.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I definitely think we could grow this into something interesting, especially with people with like that have the large following, could bring their audience that here.
You see my 137 followers, 136 followers, or whatever I have on
Like
this.
me though, like I like that you post though. Like, that's gonna grow, man. As long as you're posting, I haven't been on it. Like TikTok, I was growing it for a while and being consistent, and it actually like helped. It paid off. Like, I had one TikTok that said something about reselling Walmart clearance items on eBay, and it got like 700,000 views. Crazy,
Jeez, that's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
And they were taking Gary Vee. He's like, "This is Gary Vee." I'm like, but yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, well, on TikTok, TikTok, when it blows up, it blows up. Yeah. So
yeah, dude, it's
I'm
crazy.
not doing. I I haven't done much on there. My
I could
my
start.
game plan for this year is, I'm making the short form, so it wouldn't be anything to just post it. So I don't know why I'm not, but I want to do 300 videos on YouTube and 60 of them be business shows like this one.
Hell
So
yeah.
that's my main primary goal for this year is to just get YouTube with a foundation, content.
Mhm.
So
One last question. I'm sorry, I keep you
yeah,
on here, and I mean to. Um, so two things. One, what's the, if you don't mind sharing, kind of where are you at with Amazon with sales and stuff like that? I'm just kind of curious to gauge that. And then the other question is something. What was I going to say? I'm losing my mind. I guess we'll start with that one. I'll see if the other one comes back to me.
yeah. So we did 1.2 million in 2021, and then we're still doing all the bookkeeping, so I'm not sure, but we're less than half of that for 2022. Um, we bought the house and land at the end of 2021. So like January of 2022, I had like zero cash.
To grow
Uh,
the business. Yep.
yeah, so that hurt us a little bit, but it also, like, it was a good move it was like the best move that we could have made because we were leasing a giant house in Cobb County, and the rent was about to go up to 2,700 a month. And
Wow.
then when we bought, we're less than $1,000. We're about $1,000 less than that. And like,
Nice.
it's where we want to live. I'm 2 minutes from my grandparents. Like, the opportunity made sense. And plus, everything's going up, but my mortgage is not, so that was,
Yeah.
like, it was a good move for us, but it hurt the business. Um, uh, I'm not sure where we'll end up this year, but my goal, my what I wrote out and kind of am working towards is I want to have a $2 to $3 million a year OA to prep operation in 2024.
That was
So
amazing.
this whole year is building towards, or I guess a rebuilding year, kind of where we want to, like, that's where we want to be in 2024. So
That's amazing. Those are good goals to have, my friend. While posting and doing everything else, I don't know how you do it, but it's amazing. And I got to get on that game. I got to post more, man. That's so cool to hear your story, to hear that you started with books too. I forget that all the time because I eventually ended up following you later on, so I didn't see any of that. You know what I mean?
yeah, we actually started selling gym equipment in our locally on Facebook, and then slowly ended up getting into books. But I mean, books were huge for us. Like, that's where we realized the opportunity, and I think a lot of people are like that. So
Yeah, it's the perfect place to start, honestly. Because there's so much return for the amount of money that you're spending.
yeah,
Like I
I mean,
remember.
you see your story, your books into real estate, into OA. Like, I mean, you have a place to build to from there, and you
Yeah,
learn the business.
the
So
cycle. But the books part is just crazy because I even remember at our peak we were doing 50 pallets a month, so a full semi truck, and it cost like $1,500 for all of those books. Like
that's crazy, man.
stupid cheap. Like,
Yeah.
and this source, like, I'm so honest and transparent about everything because I don't do books anymore.
Mhm.
This was literally Goodwill, so like it was
Wow.
crazy. And we were using Caleb Ross software that was Pallet IQ. I don't know if you use
I
that.
never used it. Mm-mm.
So Pallet IQ links up with other Amazon sellers
Mhm.
that have like brick and mortar or like a storefront. And when the software, when you scan a book, if you'll make $2 on Amazon, but this bookseller or whatever will buy it for $3, it will show them, and then you throw it into the bin, and then they'll pick up the Gaylord with a semi. So I used to
Oh,
make a couple grand just off of that.
yeah. Okay. Huh.
But it's different. It's really, really interesting. It's a way to make a lot of money with what's normally the duds or the books that you don't sell.
Yeah. Huh. I never got
It,
optimized
it
for
was newer. Like I would say I had it for like 4 or 6 months before I
Gotcha.
stopped books because it was brand new. It was a brand new software.
Huh. Okay.
Um, but yeah,
Well,
man,
man, thank you for coming on. This has been it's been a great episode. So
my pleasure.
I like I said, we'll have to check back in a few years and see see the success, and then definitely hit me up for the lives. Like
Definitely.
I've been getting on the treadmill and working because I'm trying to do the whole health thing, and that would be a great time to just do a live and talk to people. And
Yeah, I just bought a Veridesk, and I'm trying to buy one of those treadmills soon so I can work while walking. That's my plan.
very nice. That's all. Yeah, you got to stay healthy. If you're gonna get rich, might as well be rich and healthy because
Yep. Thank you, man.
well,
This
we just
sounds,
hit over an hour, so let's call it.
yeah,
Um,
let's talk. Have a good one, man. We'll talk soon.
hey, thanks so
Thank you
much.
for
All
having
right.
me.
Everybody, thank you for watching my episode number 7 of Codys Business Show. If you are in need of OA leads, check the description below. There's a link for some stuff. And if I can ever help you with anything, feel free to hit me up. And on social media, send me a DM or whatever, and I'm happy to try and help, for absolutely free. And then if you want a free month in a paid Discord that has leads and that sort of thing, there's either a link below or just shoot me a DM and I can send you the promo code and you get 30 days free in that. So go sell some crap on the internet, work super hard, enjoy your family, and good day to you.